and welcome to Track Talk, an Instagram TV series between myself and Neof Athletics. This series discusses mental health in athletics, my own personal experiences with mental health, and tips for coaches and athletes. I'm a third year sports coaching and development student at Edge Hill University, and I'm currently conducting research into mental health in athletics. Now, it's important to remember that everything expressed in this video are my thoughts, my opinions, so feel free to go out and do your own research and find your own resources that work for you and your athletes. 1 in 4 people struggle with mental health difficulties every year, and athletes aren't immune to that. In fact, in 2019, 34% of elite athletes experienced anxiety or depression, and research has shown that athletes are more likely to confide in a coach than anybody else. But often, coaches don't really know what signs to look for, and it can take an athlete getting to rock bottom before they have the confidence to go to their coach and talk to them about their problems. So, here are some helpful indicators that may suggest that your athlete needs more support. Number 1, behaviour changes. As a coach, you get to know your athletes. You develop a relationship. You get to know who's quiet, who's loud, who copes well under pressure, who doesn't, who enjoys a bit of banter at the start of the session, and who would rather put their earphones in and warm up by themselves. You get to know what works for each of your athletes and how they behave. So if you start to notice any particular changes in that athlete's behaviour or their personality, or even the sort of things that they're talking about, then that may be a sign that they need a little bit of extra support. It could be nothing, but it's always better to check than not. Number 2, increased negative self-talk. As athletes, we can be quite critical of ourselves. I know I certainly am, but it's something to be aware of as a coach. If you start to notice that your athlete is talking more negatively about themselves more frequently, then this should be a red flag to you. They may constantly criticise their body, their performance, their ability, even their mindset. And if that's getting more and more frequent, then that's something that you need to talk to them about. Especially if they're sort of joking things off. Don't just take it that they're fine, ask them about it. And it's a great opportunity to boost your athlete's confidence and self-esteem. And a more confident athlete is a happier athlete and a stronger athlete. Number 3, wearing clothes that are inappropriate to the weather conditions. In the cold weather of the UK, this might not stick out as a red flag to a coach. However, if an athlete is quite obviously too warm or uncomfortable, but is refusing to take off the several layers that they've got on, this could be a cause for concern. This can be a sign that they're either struggling with body confidence, which can be linked to other mental health issues and mental illnesses such as body dysmorphia, eating disorders, or it could just be that they just don't feel comfortable in their own skin. But it could also be an indicator that that athlete is self-harming and that they have marks and scars that they don't want people to see so that they don't ask questions. It's a tough situation and it needs to be handled delicately, especially with young athletes. So in situations like this, it may be best to involve the parents and have a quiet word with them about if they've noticed this sort of behaviour at home as well. Either way, it's a good time to have a conversation with your athlete. Number 4, self-medication and impaired judgment. You tend to find this more with older athletes. They might get really involved in partying or gambling or getting themselves in risky situations, driving too fast. Behaviours like this can be hard to notice as a coach because they happen away from the track. But if you've got a good relationship with your athletes, you should be able to talk to them about what else is going on in their life other than sport. And so if you do notice that your athlete is starting to engage in more of these risky behaviours or unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as alcohol or drugs, then this could be a sign that you should bring them aside for a chat. It's important in these situations not to go in making accusations or trying to shame the athlete, but rather ask why they're engaging in these behaviours and if they recognise how destructive these behaviours can be. And finally, number 5, the athlete tells you. This is quite easily the most obvious and biggest sign, but it's amazing how many coaches miss it. If an athlete's going to confide in you, it won't always be, hey coach, I've been feeling really depressed lately, can we talk about it? It might be simply, oh, I'm so stressed at the moment, do you have 5 minutes for a chat? Or can I talk to you about something? All you should do in that situation is listen to them and make yourself available. The worst thing you can do is dismiss them and say, yeah, all right, I'll talk to you about it later, I'm busy right now. The best thing you can do is say, let's sit down and have a chat. Let's talk. Let me listen and find out what you need from me. Often as a coach, we can feel unequipped to deal with these situations, and I'm not going to lie to you, they can be uncomfortable for both the coach and the athlete. Nobody wants to have that conversation. But the important thing is, whether we want to or not, whether it's uncomfortable or not, those conversations with our athletes are really, really important. If it helps one athlete stay in the sport, stay happy, stay healthy, stay alive, then we as coaches have got a responsibility to give them just 5 or 10 minutes out of our day and listen to them and notice.